the 8th video in my conducting series. In this video, we'll be covering some specific conducting techniques related to tempo control, tenuto, fermata, gesture of syncopation, and breath marks. I hope you enjoy. When you're conducting an ensemble, there will be many times during a piece of music where you will want the ensemble to speed up, or you will want them to slow down, or they may be playing faster than they're supposed to, and you'd like to have them come back to the center of the beat, meaning they're on the front side of the beat, or they have fallen to the back side of the beat, giving the impression that they're slowing down, and you'd like them to come back to the main beat and the main tempo. So there are different motions you can do each way to try to help with this. Let's say you would like them to speed up. Well, a few things that you can do. First of all, if you're conducting along at this tempo and you would like them to be more precise or to slightly speed up, one thing you can do is to begin to conduct on the front side of the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I shift to the front side of the beat. My snapping is still where it was before, but I'm conducting ahead of it. And that gives the perception, when I initially begin to do that, it gives the perception to the musician that I'm wanting to push. Also, if you take your pattern and make it smaller, it'll draw their attention in, so that if you go to the front side of the beat like I did, it brings more attention to that. The other thing you can also do is to shift from a downbeat. We've said before, the ictus, the main beat for the conductor, is down here. Shift it to up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. When I initially do that change, here's downbeat, and now I'm going to switch to an upbeat. It gives this perception as if I'm wanting to go faster. Even though the beat is the same, I'm jumping the gun, you could say, a little bit. Almost appears as if I'm going to the front side of the beat. And that's because the downward motion is now happening slightly before the beat. So by the time I'm coming up, they feel this urge to want to speed up. And last, another thing that you can do is to give this rolling motion. I call it the barrel rolling down the hill. If a barrel's rolling down the hill, it speeds up as it goes. I want to give that perception. So if I'm conducting along and now I want them to start speeding up, if I move a little bit faster and do this, it gives the perception to the musician I'd like them to go faster. Slow down. You will want to fall to the back side of the beat. So if I'm conducting along like this, I will want my pattern, if my snapping stays the same, I'm going to want to actually be slightly behind it. And as you can see, when I first started doing that, it looked like I slowed down, which makes the musician react and slow down. Because everything I do, they will do one beat later, because it's a prep. So when I initially fall to the back side of the beat, on the next beat, they're going to slow down. If I continue to go behind the beat they're now at, they will continue one beat later to slow down. We might be going at one tempo, and without any gradual alteration on some upcoming beat, typically on the downbeat of a measure, but it could be on any beat, the tempo suddenly changes, a lot faster or a lot slower. You have to have that internalized for yourself. And before you get to the beat where the faster tempo is, you have to already know what that new tempo is going to be, so that when you get to the beat where the tempo change happens, the musicians are actually playing at that new tempo, which means you have to prep them into that new tempo. Well, if I'm going along like this, and I do 2 measures of this, and then on the downbeat I'm supposed to suddenly be slower, but I don't start going slower until that downbeat, well, they're not going to change until the beat after that. They're now a beat late on the tempo change, which means I have to change to the slower tempo going into that downbeat. So here's the 2 measures of that faster tempo again, and it'll be followed by prepping them into the slow tempo. What you'll sometimes find when you're going into a slower tempo, depending on how fast that previous tempo is, you may actually have to pause your conducting 2 beats, or maybe more in some cases, before that new tempo. For instance, if I'm going along like this and on the downbeat I have to go dramatically slower, if I just pause right before, I actually go into that beat late. I'm adding time between the 4th beat of that faster tempo and the downbeat of the slower tempo that's not supposed to be there. So what I'll do is I'll pause on beat 3 of 1 measure before the tempo change so that I can prep to the new thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause, new tempo. And on the correct downbeat, I am showing them the new tempo. The reverse is true for going fast. Put a little pause before you do the prep to the faster tempo. Now it's a little bit easier because you're coming out of a slow tempo, and when you're coming out of a slow tempo, you can pause at the end of 1 beat prior and prep into the new tempo within the last beat of the slower tempo. For instance, I'll do 2 measures of slow going into fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the second measure. 2, 3, pause, new tempo. I'm just doing it as a prep in either direction. I would love in the comments for you to put your own thoughts, if you're a conductor, of what you've done that's maybe different than this to add tempo control to your conducting technique. Thank you for watching. For more great videos, subscribe to the Maestro Fox YouTube channel. To learn more about the Maestro, visit StephenAllenFox.com.